All right. We reached an achievement.
Yeah,
Holy
we
fuck.
did.
Please be aware, viewers, welcome to the Hold My Pen Promptcast, day 2 for
Yep.
prompt 20.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. Please be
Yep.
aware there is about a
How's everybody
2 second
doing?
2 second delay on the Twitch side of things. There is about a 10 to 20 second delay on the YouTube side. Pardon me while I shove my face full of food.
Hey, we all gotta eat. I mean, like it's one of those things. We all gotta eat.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, oh.
Got to put
And
that
hell,
fuel in the tank.
my streaming days started with shoving Black Angus burgers into my mouth on live stream. So, like, this is nothing new.
Are you saying people are used to it?
No, no, not at all.
They should be. They should be.
If they're not, they should be by now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the funniest thing we've ever seen Izzy eat on stream, besides the burger incident, was when she was extremely drunk and was eating mac and cheese. Because the sounds that was
Yeah.
coming out of that woman's mouth had no business while eating mac and cheese. So
Oh my
I
god,
do
I remember.
understand.
That was hilarious.
I'm a woman who
We're
likes
all,
to
you
eat.
know, we're all here for Izzy's antics.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
are.
of course.
You are very much a foodie.
I should have gone to clown school. Because then I would have learned how to fall without hurting myself.
I don't think
Just
we
saying.
ever learn how to fall without hurting ourselves. I mean, I kind of learned that in wrestling, but the problem being is I still walked away with bruises. Like there was no.
I mean, in theater, when you learn to fall, you still get bruises. You just learn how to fall and not break shit.
That's what I'm saying. That one right there.
Is my index. Yes, mukbang story hour. I have forever said that.
3 months ago, for for those of us, for those of you who are listening rather than watching, uh, I Bitzer said that, Cash replied verbally, and I'm replied in the chat, and now verbally. 3 months ago, I wouldn't have known what that was. Thanks to Felix's ASMR streams, I now do. K-pop is expanding my world exponentially.
I still don't know what the hell that is, so I'm just gonna nod and
What I'm doing.
Just smile and nod.
what eating.
Shoving food in my mouth on stream.
Ah,
Variety shows where they're just how much can you eat? The thing in the middle of the hockey games where they're, eat all the fish, whoever empties their plates first
It's
wins.
an eating challenge, basically. But like,
Mhm.
I, it's hard to explain. You just have to watch what they are to really kind of get the concept.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, what Fitzer
mukbang
said.
is eating while talking to an audience. Entire genre of reality television show where people ingest enormous amounts of food while talking through a topic. And I'm like, awesome. That's something I can do. And they actually expect me to talk with my mouth full. I don't gotta hide it. All right, as we know, it is day
Yep,
two
yep, yep.
of our prompt because we had so many entries with such high word counts this time. We had to do it in two streams. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Also, real quick, if you are one of our original subscribers and you've been subscribing every month at about this time, now is the time to re up that with your Prime subscription if you choose to give it to us this month. If not, enjoy the ads and catch up with us on the other side of it. If you do watch on the YouTube side, there are no ads, so you pick your poison.
Oh fuck, Fisher.
Another dictionary?
Okay.
Yeah, well, this one had a little bit more English words, a little less, you know.
All good. All good. Any other announcements? Questions from the chat before we get started?
um, is it since it doesn't look like we're gonna have a fourth person tonight? Do we want to move the uh
Taylor?
the spinny wheel over a little bit? And
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to. I'm just asking. Hi.
Hello, Omelette May. I hope I said that right.
Um, I would just that is the gnome queen,
The Gnome Queen.
Mm-hmm.
the gnome queen.
Mrs. Technical Support Viking.
Oh, oh, okay. Hi. An idea for a raccoon. We'll be working on it. Oh, a raccoon?
Not
Yeah, yes.
not that I advocate delineating a woman's identity to who she is married to. However, we know him, so putting two to two together. Uh, frankly, I would think she's the better half.
I don't know. I haven't had it really interacted with her, so I wouldn't know. I'm going to assume she is. So
She
he's
is the one that drew Dawn Sugar Pop.
what?
A
There
character
is
that
a picture running around in one of our yes.
well, I'm also taking Styx's word for it because he said that you're the better half. When they
Which
show you
means
her
they're both the better half,
That
probably.
he did. They are both amazing people that I have had the pleasure of meeting and interacting with, and they are awesome sauce regardless.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying he's the worst half. She's just the better half. May also be holding a grudge for being muted. I, this is what
I
siblings do. I mean, my spawner is still threatening to have a there can be only one lightsaber ash pole battle in my front yard.
so
And
where
they
is
love
it?
each other. Huh?
So why haven't they produced yet?
Oh, produce the fight?
Yeah.
Because I can't afford the medical bills.
Ah,
Is there a cat in the curtain? Oh, that's the wind.
Wind.
yes.
Okay.
Wind. All right.
All I saw was the curtain move, and I'm like, oh shit, do we have a cat in the curtain?
I know. It's finally warm. It finally feels like spring, like we completely actually skipped over spring. As you can see, I am wearing a swimsuit top and a tank top. There is decidedly more skin because I do not have central air. Um, so all the windows are open, trying to let airflow happen. I am sweating bullets.
We do have central air and it's hot. Well,
Mm-hmm.
central-ish air.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Spinny, spin, spin. Sorry, not sorry for my mouthful. Hey, Oceanside. I am almost done with my food. Kesh, would you be able to, so I can finish and then,
Yes.
thank you very much. Yeah, just barely, Ace. That was like on the line.
Okay. Here we go. No stars were visible above the ruined cathedral. The ancient rock made sure that ages ago when it stormed the northern ridge. Made sure of that before when it stormed the northern ridge. Sarah tried to imagine what the grand structure would have looked like as she stared at the carved image hung by the window. Her thoughts returned to the present when she heard the word mine. Outside, her son, Brannock, was speaking to Tessa, a girl from another village. Sarah still pondered the question of what this river girl would mean to her son, but she would not let someone who mattered go to the mine without proper attire. Sarah placed onto the counter the roots she was washing and stormed out the front door. Brannock, she started, you cannot take her to the mine while wearing that. She pointed at Tessa's patched river outfit. Brannock opened his mouth and said, I didn't. That's right, Sarah cut him off. You didn't think. Our mine will our mine will eat that outfit alive. Tessa looked down at her outfit, at the dark blue fisherman's vest, the deep green tunic, the forest brown trousers, each patched so many times that she could barely see the original thread. What's wrong with it? She asked with a shaky tone. It's my favorite outfit. Sarah's expression softened and she placed a hand on Tessa's shoulder. It's beautiful, dear, but sadly it's not appropriate for our mine. She thought for a moment and then her face lit up. I know. We will borrow an outfit. There is a girl about your age who lives near here. She will have something that will fit you. Come, we'll visit the stone brooks. Sarah marched down the row of houses with the confidence of someone who married and raised stone itself. Tessa followed, curious to see more of this mountain village. Brannock followed further behind, knowing what lay ahead. Sarah stepped up to a front door framed with flowering vines and a small wind chime made out of polished stone chips. She knocked, and the door almost immediately swung open, revealing a girl a little shorter than Tessa, but about the same age. She had a warm brown skin, bright amber eyes, and more curls than she knew what to do with. Good day, Marin. This is. Marin gasped and took Tessa's hand in hers and said, "You're new!" "I'm Marin. Marin Stonebrook. Who are you?" Tessa, startled, was about to pull away, but didn't. She felt warmth in Marin's soft grasp that added to her smile. "I'm Tessa." "Tessa," Marin said back and let her face soften at the sound. Then both girls turned to Sarah. Sarah, who had let herself drift into a fading memory, remembered why they were there and said, "Marin, dear, we need to borrow an outfit for Tessa. Something sturdy enough for the mine." "The mine?" Marin squeaked. "I've got the perfect thing." Marin pulled Tessa into her world with all the enthusiasm of one who had been waiting for their entire life for this very moment. To her very close, muttering, "This one? No, not that thing. Nothing one. Maybe this one." She held up various pieces of clothing to Tessa's shoulders, comparing size. "No, not sturdy enough." After searching every pile and every drawer and every shelf, Marin opened her wardrobe and saw a set of folded miner's clothes. "There you are," she exclaimed, and thrust the bundle into Tessa's hand before stepping out and closing her door to give Tessa some privacy to change. Tessa pulled on the rust-red tunic with reinforced stitching, charcoal trousers with reinforced knee pads, and belted frap with simple motifs that could only be symbols of Hearthstone culture. She slipped back on her boots and opened the door. Marine beamed and then immediately pouted. Mar- Marin beamed and then immediately pouted. "Sarah, that looks better on her than it does on me." She folded her arms dramatically. Sarah examined the outfit and smiled. "That will do nicely. Now she doesn't have to mess up her favorite river outfit." Marin's eyes went wide and her arms relaxed. "River outfit? You like the river? You must tell me all your stories, all of them." Tessa let out a shy laugh and replied, "Okay." Marin bounced with joy. "Oh, I bet your river is much better than mine. The river here is haunted by a giant fish named Gerald. My brothers make me pay tribute to him." "You have brothers?" asked Tessa, "even when they're away on business ventures in other villages." Tessa laughed. "My siblings are younger. They climb on me like I'm a tower." Marin paced around Tessa, studying her. "I can see it. You do look like a tower." Tessa gasped with mock offense. "A cute, tall, sisterly tower," Maureen quickly corrected. She stopped in front of Tessa and looked into her deep blue eyes and said, "I like you, Tessa Riverbright." Tessa giggled. "That's not my name." "It is now," Maureen cheered and looped her arm through Tessa's. "Going to the mine? Then let's go. I know the fastest way." They brushed past Sarah and stepped out through the front door and continued past Brannock. "Hey, Brannock, brewed much today?" "I don't," Brannock began, but Marion cut him off. "Yes, you do. Everyone knows it." Sarah, amused, stepped out of the Stonebrook house and gently closed the door behind her. She smiled at the girl's laughter and patted Brannock's shoulder. "Good luck, son." Brannock muttered a prayer for guidance as he turned to follow the girls to the mine, and Sarah watched them go, never imagining that their innocent meeting would ripple far beyond the mine and set incredible things into motion. Valera floated across the space between them and embraced Marin. "Because of you, Marin Stonebrook," she whispered into Marin's ear, "we are opening communication between our peoples. The elves thank you." Dun dun dun. So that was the end.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disturbed.
Because somebody grew up to be a guilt chaser. Is that what it was?
Because in this, it sounds like Brannick, Tessa, Marin are all relatively similar age. And then
Hmm.
this Brannick and Tessa and Marin all grow up, and Brannick marries Tessa's mom. Okay, look, Stacy's mom has got it going on, but um,
That's only because Stacy's mom was Johnny's girl. So I mean like and her number was 8675309.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, suspicious. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are like, age is just a number, consenting adults, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a limit.
It still feels very kinky. Wait a minute. It
Hinky,
says that
hinky.
They don't read like they're
uh
16 and 19 at all.
They
no,
don't.
They
not
read
not
like
at all.
children.
Yeah,
They read like teenagers.
They don't even
they
read like teenagers
they read like they're somewhere between 8 and 12
at the most. Exactly.
in this particular scene. And I'm not gonna lie, even the ones that we've read before, uh, where they are adults, right? Brannick at that point does start to sound like an adult, uh, but Tessa and Marin, who I don't know what their when they were coming down off the mountain, I don't know what their age is at that point, but they read very young. So, um, I don't know, just and again, I'm totally fine reading YA or middle grade. One of my favorite series of all time is a YA by Tamora Pierce. Um, and I absolutely love Uncle Rick, aka Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and et al. Like all of those series. Um, they sound like the age that they're supposed to be. And in those, I feel seen. My inner child feels seen. So that's why I read them. But, if somebody is an adult, they should sound like an adult. If they are a teen, they should have language appropriate, syntax, grammar, word structure. So just something to think about. Basically, hearing that, I literally was thinking that they were like somewhere between 8 and 12, all of them.
Yeah,
So, but
I
that's
agree.
kind of the point, Ace. Brannick doesn't talk much, but when he does, and even in this scene, he doesn't sound like he's close to adulthood at all with the way he chooses to phrase his sentences. Just just an observation. That's why I was so disturbed because I didn't realize that he was that much older. I am
All
sitting
right.
up straight, Leon. I am sitting up straight. I am very I am in my seat and proper. But thank you. I do have to remember to check
I
my
mean, I
punch card
wasn't,
every
but I
now and
had a
again.
cat on me.
I mean, fair. All right.
I'm sitting pretty
Hydrate or
good too.
dehydrate.
Okay. Hydrate or dihydrate. Got it. Okay. Next up. Please don't be me. 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 Hey, it's
Oh,
our new recruit. For those of you who have a very difficult time reading that, yes, you are not alone. They definitely understand. I'm going to try and pronounce this. My apologies for fucking it all the way up. This is our new submitter. That this was Hellenic. Hellenic Taoist. In this is chosen pen name, which is Isuiarak. Isuiarak? Isuiarak. Isuiarak? Thankfully has said that we can refer to them as Isu. Again, my apologies. It was actually a quite a wonderful interaction uh, when I was like, I'm sorry, my dumb American tongue is gonna fuck this all the way up. And he goes, "It is an American name." I go, "Okay, Native American, original native. I'm sorry, I'm the dumb white European American type. Okay, thank you for understanding." But at least I also feel that I clocked it, right? I was like, "Okay, American name, therefore it must be native." And all respect. All right. Foggy, not me, not me, not me. All right. Welcome to the craziness. Now, there's also a trigger warning, FYI. This may be slightly triggering to those who have experienced domestic abuse. Okay. So take that as you will. Make sure you do self care. Not coming back. I opened my mouth, but what to say? I thought I had just heard Uon, my demon husband, say, "I ate your parents. I'm sorry." Well, that would warrant an apology, he except he said it like it was, "I'm sorry I ate the last cherry strudel. I forgot you'd claimed it and I know you were really looking forward to it." Not an, "I'm sorry I killed the only people who ever cared about you." Kind of sorry. So I just said, "What?" He stared morosely at his hands on his knees, confessing, "It's hard to remember the details of things that happened before I drank Apollo's ichor. Those beast memories are all so fuzzy and vague. But when you talked about the creature that Wilder, who you healed in the foothills behind your house, that stirred something. Last night I remembered. It was me. You healed my wound. You told me your name and taught me how to smile. That was where my affinity for you started. That's when you became my favorite human. And I tried to be near you as much as I could. But after following you for a while, I got hungry. Hungrier than usual. And there were two other humans right there in your nest. I didn't, I mean, I didn't know. He really did sound torn up about it. He gave me a pained look. I didn't know what a family was or how killing them would hurt you. I wouldn't have done it if I'd known. After a moment, he added, "This seemed too important to keep from you. I'm sorry." Even at the time, it was strange how little this bothered me. Shocking, sure. But it had been 5, nearly 6 years since then. And my memories of that time were mostly more concerned with the suspicion that fell upon me from the other villagers. Perhaps that's why it was so easy to take his hand and say, "It's okay, Uon." His mouth hung open, like he couldn't quite believe I wasn't angry. Rio, I shook my head. It's like you said. That was before you became yourself. You were like an animal. I gave a comforting little laugh. I mean, you struggled just to pronounce my name back then. I can't expect you to have known better. I lifted his hand to my lips. Please don't let this eat at you. I love you, Uon, and I'm glad we're together. Slowly, his lips worked into a smile full of love and gratitude. Thank you, Rio. He hugged me close, and it was a good hug. His hugs, his hugs always felt good. One moment, I need to discipline.
Whether they're toddlers or four-leggers, we got to do what we got to do.
I don't know what her problem is against my cherry blossom landscape curtains, but okay.
Yeah, because she didn't attack the other ones.
Ah, shit. She's a Viking cat then. Back to the story. I hadn't lied to him. I really meant it when I said I was okay. At least, I thought I was in the moment. Now I think it was simply a revelation too big for my heart to swallow all at once. Because the next day, I picked a fight with Uon. It was about something stupid, something that never would have bothered me at any other time. I can't remember what I said, but he just rolled his eyes and responded glibly with, "Oh, is that how you were brought up?" And I knew, even as he said it, that it was just some line he'd gotten out of a book and that he didn't mean anything by it. Even so, the words ignited something inside of me I hadn't realized was there, and I felt aflame with rage as I spat. You mean by the people you ate? He leaned back, stunned, eyes wide. Then his face contorted with an anger I'd never seen in him before and bellowed, well, at least you had someone to bring you up. At least you know what it's like to be someone's son. I never had anyone. I grew up alone. And I looked after myself when I was hungry, when I was cold, when I was sick, and when I was injured. Nobody looked after me. Nobody cared about me. My guts went cold under the weight of his fury. His gold on black eyes were starting to leak dark, oily tears that ran down his cheeks in straight lines. Now he talked through sobs, his voice stretched thin with hysteria. The day you healed me was the first time anyone looked at me like I was anything but a beast. I wanted to know what made you different. I just wanted to be near you. I didn't know you had a family because I didn't know what a family was. I never would have hurt them if I'd known they were so important to you. I hate that I'm the one who killed them, and I wish I could give them back to you, but I can't. The people who go into my stomach never come out. I don't remember thinking anything then. Just the echoing quiet, just the anguish on his face. Uwon stared into my eyes, heaving as the tears dripped off his jaw and onto his half finished plate. We'd been having a meal. All at once, he slammed both hands down on the table while pushing himself to his feet. Two of the legs cracked, the table fell, and all our dinner things slid onto the floor in a broken heap. Uon stared for half a moment at the mess in dismay, skated his glance across mine without landing, breathed a desperate fuck, and went tearing off to some other part of the house like an upset child storming away. I sat there beside the ruined furniture for a long time, feeling empty and ashamed.
That was all too familiar.
Welcome to the craziness. You belong here. Uh,
You do. You do.
you know what that reminded me of? Honestly, you know what that reminded me of? Nathan's. Nathan's very first submission.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody comes in heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You belong. Touching the hot and heavy, the hard things. Damn. Good to have you, Isu.
Yes,
Yeah,
you've
You're
been
gonna have to
licked.
be here a couple more minutes
you've
before
been
we
licked.
lick you, but
Let's be honest though. If Julie says you belong here in that tone of voice, that's like you might as well be
That's
licked.
essentially the same thing.
That's me. I literally will tell you, I've licked you. You're mine now. I just ask sticks.
right. I'm the welcome to the craziness. Please do not feed the animals unless you intend on taking them home. They get very angry after you leave. Uh,
Cause I'm that. She made the mistake. She fed the animal. She fed the animal.
Yep, yep. Haven't been able to get rid of you for
you
30
do get
years
very
now.
mad when I'm out of pocket for more than 3 to 5 days.
Do I do? I need fed.
My chili has been feeding you for a while.
Yes. So happy about that. It's relatively easy.
By the way, if anybody would like my famous, and it literally is Julie's famous chili, it was actually Grandpa's famous chili. I've done some adjustments. But if
Yeah.
anybody would like my chili recipe, hit me up. I'll give it to you. It's not a big deal.
All right. Updating the wheel. Updating the wheel. There we go. We are down to 4, 3, 2. I don't know what I've done to the settings, but I now hear the alert sounds in my headphones. Are you guys hearing them?
No.
Ah, fuck. I get the mm.
Remember, that's the reason I used to have to put my computer all the way at 100 was so everybody could hear the wheel spin.
Okay, and you don't
So
hear
who's
the
up next?
wheel. Audience, do you hear the wheel ticking? I know you don't. Why are you shaking your head at me? They don't come through. Okay. Damn.
Nope.
Okay. So we're going to do a little bit more at some point, fine tuning and hello, Crowley. Damn. Hot damn. I forgot his
Down
voice
girl.
did that.
Down girl.
Thank you, Leon. Very, very much. The stab, stab, stab sound brought me right back out of it. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Gwenchana. Ah! Sorry.
My ear.
That was so
Bitch,
not a that was so a girly scream.
bitch, that was my ear.
Oh, it's because it landed on her. I'm like, where I'm watching it, it's literally got a couple second delay. So it's like I have no idea what she's yelling about. Oh, it landed on her.
And with that, I need to go put my kid to bed.
Okay, I gotta stand up for this. Thankfully, Julie is 7.5 hours away drive, and I don't think she can make it up here in enough time. Yes, the only person who's allowed to read read the the only Promptcast submission I am allowed to read before stream, my own. Okay, here we go. Sven hefted the second bundle of 2x4s into the truck bed and let them drop with a solid thud against the tailgate. The impact rattled through the frame hard enough to make the loose chain on the hitch clink against the bumper. He shoved the boards farther in with both hands, then straightened and rolled the stiffness from his shoulders. He had meant to spend the day with Maggie and the kids, finishing the western side of the cowshed. Having to repair it before he could finish it sat wrong in a way he could not quite explain. The calf was ready to be weaned and needed separated before his bull decided to put another babe in the mother, which meant the western wall had to be enclosed now. But that was only part of it. He'd let that patch of ground sit exposed long enough. Sven reached for the roll of fencing wire balanced in the shopping cart and glanced toward the storefront windows. Through the reflection of the afternoon sun, he could just make out Emery standing near the checkout counter with her hands planted on her hips while she watched the cashier ring up a box of nails. Even through the glass, there was something unmistakably supervisory in the set of her shoulders, as if she suspected everyone around her was one poor decision away from requiring correction. The thought made him grin and wonder if Maggie had worn that same sharp edged certainty before life had taught her to make herself smaller. Yvonne, meanwhile, had discovered the rack of keychains by the door and appeared wholly absorbed in spinning the display one hook at a time. Every few seconds, he glanced over his shoulder toward his sister, checking whether she had noticed he was touching something he probably ought not to be touching. That one made more sense. Emery looked like the sort of child who had been born already halfway through scolding somebody. Yvonne seemed more reserved. He closed the tailgate and wiped invisible dirt from his hands on the back of his jeans. Pushing the cart back to the door, Sven stopped as Emery caught sight of Yvonne at the spinner rack. Her expression tightened. She did not stomp over and call his name the way most sisters would have. Instead, she crossed the floor with quick, purposeful steps and laid one hand lightly against his wrist, stilling the display before it could make another turn. Yvonne glanced at her, his mouth already opening in protest. She gave the barest shake of her head. Whatever passed between them in that look was immediate and wordless. Yvonne dropped his hand at once and straightened, his shoulders pulling back as though he had just remembered he was being graded. Emery smoothed the nearest row of keychains into perfect alignment, then nodded once, apparently satisfied. Sven frowned. Was it the twin phenomenon or something deeper? The correction itself was common with siblings, sometimes cousins who were close enough, like him and Mickey. It was the way she had done it, quietly, efficiently, with the kind of practiced discretion he was more accustomed to seeing in adults trying not to make a scene. And it was the way Yvonne had responded without argument, as though this was neither unusual nor unfair, but simply the natural order of things. At 8 years old, they were altogether too good at taking up as little space as possible. Sven walked into the store, wheeling the cart back to the corral, and returned to the register. All right, then. Emery, did the total come out to what we figured? He leaned against the counter and gave the tiniest wink to the cashier. Her name tag read Melody, though it sat crooked enough he had to tilt his head to make it out. She carefully winked back. Emery pressed a finger to each item poking from the top of the bag, then leaned sideways to peer past Sven toward the truck bed, silently counting on her other hand. She lit up. It's less than you said. That's great. Sven matched her enthusiasm. I guess that means we can get some trinkets. What do you say? Emery scrunched her nose in confusion. but Ivan's attention flicked to Sven so quickly he nearly missed it. What about you, Ivan? Was there a keychain over there you liked? The boy grinned. Really? He laughed. Sure, why not? A keepsake from a successful trip sounds like good enough reason to me. Ivan ran to the spinner, quickly turning it to find something he'd eyed earlier. Sven turned to Emery. What about you? Anything you want to get? Emery shifted her weight and glanced at the cashier. Sven looked too, relieved to see Melody offer the little girl an easy smile. We have some candy and nuts on the other side there, if Dad approves, of course. Emery's face went stormy before Sven could correct her. He's not my dad! The cashier looked stricken. I'm so sorry, honey. I shouldn't have assumed. She glanced at Sven, uncertain. It's all right, Emery. Pick anything you want. He turned to Melody. I'm just a friend, helping fix up the property. Ivan returned with a rubbery Montana-shaped keychain, complete with a meadowlark and bitterroot flower. This one! He exclaimed. Sven laughed. All right, then. Let Melody ring it up. He flicked a glance toward Emery, arms now crossed over her chest angrily, and turned slightly away. He softened his voice. Would you rather pick something out for your mama, Emery, instead of candy or a trinket? Her little shoulders flinched before softening a fraction. She opened her mouth, then stopped. She closed it again and swallowed. Yvonne stepped closer to her, fingers curling into the belt loop on her jeans and tugging slightly. Her eyes slid to her twin before speaking, her gaze never leaving his face. Can I get something and something for Mommy? Sven felt the tightness in his chest loosen a bit. Some things still bent without breaking. Sure, kiddo. What would she like? Go grab whatever. I'll pay for this stuff while you're looking so we don't hold anybody up. Take your time. Emery grabbed Yvonne's hand and ran to the back of the store, clearly on a mission. He turned to Melody and pulled out his billfold. I really am sorry. I didn't mean to upset her, she mumbled, a tear welling at her eyelid. Sven smiled sadly and sighed. It's all right, Melody. You didn't know. He lowered his voice to a near whisper. They've been through it. It's going to take them some time. Me and Donna are helping them get on their feet. She tilted her head, forehead scrunching. Donna? He nodded. Yeah. Donna Peacekeeper? Melody quickly straightened, her eyes going wide. They're one of Donna's? She trailed off as if unsure she should say it out loud. Sven looked at her then. Really looked. You're the Horace girl, aren't you? The tear lost its battle with gravity. Melody Horace nodded slowly. Yes, sir. Wait, you're Sven? It almost wasn't a question. Yes, ma'am. How's that Ford treating your mama? She murmured so softly he almost didn't hear her. It saved her job. Thank you. Think nothing of it, sweetheart. Let's get this cashed out so we're not holding up the line. Melody wiped a finger along her lash line, careful not to smudge her makeup, and laughed dryly. Some line. Y'all are my first customers of the day, and there's no one else here. Well, he drawled, just in case then. They could be quick. They could take their time. He handed over cash, and she handed him the receipt and the bag. The rapid thump of sneakers announced the twins before the pair saw them. Yvonne rounded the end cap first, his face bright with barely contained triumph, 2 seed packets clutched in his hands. He skidded to a stop at the register and slapped them onto the steel countertop. Montana wildflower mix, both of them. The fronts showed lupine, Indian paintbrush, and black-eyed Susans bursting across a meadow beneath an impossibly blue sky. Emery appeared a heartbeat later, breathing hard, like she'd run the store twice over. A green pocket notebook was pressed tight to her chest. Behind it, she had wedged a pair of tan work gloves. A small multi-tool hung from her fingers on a carabiner. A flashlight and compass were clipped to it, assembled like she'd chosen them with purpose. Her chin came up the instant her eyes met Sven's, the look in them daring him to object to her items. Well, now, he smiled. Looks like y'all gave this some thought. Yvonne puffed up immediately. Mummy likes flowers. We never had a garden before. Emery touched the seed packets as she set her purchases beside them. These come back every year? She asked softly. Melody smiled. If you plant 'em right. Sven said nothing about Emery's items, but he tapped Yvonne's shoulder gently. Nothing else for you, Yvonne? The boy shook his head. I'm good for now, Sven. Thank you. Sven nodded to Melody. Looks like we're done here then. She quietly rang up the items, hiding her tears from the children. She handed the bag to Emery and the receipt to Sven. Thanks for shopping at Ace. Her tone said so much more than corporate slogan. He squeezed her fingers briefly in the handoff. Outside, Sven loaded the last bag into the cab and opened the rear door for them. All right, the shed ain't gonna fix itself. We best get going and your mama her flowers. Yvonne scrambled in first. Emery paused with one foot on the running board, glancing down at the precious cargo in her bag before climbing in. When Sven shut the door, he caught the faintest trace of her smile through the glass. Then he rounded the hood, climbed behind the wheel, and turned the truck toward the clearing. Dun dun dun.
Izzy,
Yes, dear.
we're gonna talk. Not right now, but we're gonna have a talk.
I knew
That
she was
sounds
going to
like
say that.
that sounds like I'm in trouble. I don't think I did anything wrong.
Mhm. I
I
caught it. Just know I caught it.
I should hope you caught it. You want to share with the class?
Peacekeepers.
Yeah. See, Bitzer even says you just want to talk with her. Yeah, you threatened that. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. Not gonna hurt him much. Just want to have a conversation. And now you use the same goddamn tone with me because I gave Donna the last name of Peacekeeper, which is one of your nicknames and what PK stands for in the Discord channel.
At least you didn't give her something with ice. I mean, I gotta give you that one.
That would
For
have been
those
too
that don't
obvious.
know, yeah, that would have been too obvious. Um, for those that don't know, back in the early days of Yahoo, I was part of a particular tribe of people that were hackers that were known as the Peacekeepers, or Peace Clan, depending on which era you came in during. And we monitored chat and blew computers when it was necessary. So I am one of very few peacekeepers left, and I still go by PK or AKA Ice.
Bitzer.
Y'all might want to be kind of like careful with Julie. She might love it too much.
Well, okay. So for those who don't know or people who come across us at the tail end, the story that Julie is currently writing is in the same universe as the story I am currently writing. And then once and as we are working on this, we're also planning and writing a prequel where her main character and one of my side characters have a story together. So this is a bit yes, Isu, lore drop. Abso-freaking-lutely. So there's mention of her characters in my book, and there's mention of my characters in her book, but they do not
CD.
appear on each of the CD.
Oh, hi.
over on YouTube.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Thanks for stopping in. We
Hey,
missed
missed
you.
you.
So, yeah, definite lore drop. My characters will not appear on page in Julie's book, and her characters will not appear on page in mine, but they're referenced. So, definitely these little nods to each other and storylines and whatnot. All right, next up,
Spinny spin spin.
Buggy. Okay. Oh, wow, that is a wall of text. Okay, okay, I'm good.
Oh boy.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's fine. It's only a little over 4 pages, single spaced. We're good. We're good.
Izzy, you can get through mine.
I barely got through yours. You're the reason that we now have a 2,500 word limit.
I know, but you still got the room.
Okay, ad starts in 5 minutes. It is really hot in here. Give me just a moment. I need to open my door back up so that way the cats can run freely and go get something to cool off real quick. And we will be back in approximately 7 minutes. Entertain yourselves. I'm not putting the be right back and muting us.
Okay.
No,
It's up to
Izzy
you,
gave
Julie.
me a heads up, a half-ass heads up warning. Uh, that there would be something interesting, and depending on how I took it, she was happy that I was 7.5 hours away. So, with that, no, I am actually honored that that is a nod to me. Um, it's still funny. It's still like, I just want to talk. I just want to talk. But then again, after next week, we might have a even bigger. We just need to talk.
For the record, Donna is not Julie. Okay. Not
No,
Julie.
no, Donna is not me.
Are are there a lot of similarities to what Donna does and what Julie would be willing to do? Yes, yes, there are similarities in their moral code. Similarities, not exact, not exact, not exact. But they're not one and the same person.
No, we're not. Actually, Izzy's based hers off a really cool actress, except for she is no longer on this plane of existence. So, unfortunately, if this ever does get turned into a miniseries, uh, the two main ones that would have worked really well are no longer here.
Do you care to
Oh.
enlighten us?
Uh, Dame Maggie, I think,
Okay.
was one of the runner ups uh
Oh,
in it,
yes, one of
but
the
that was
runner-ups. Professor McGonagall was definitely
yes.
one of the runner-ups, but Phyllis Somerville was my dream cast for Donna.
Gotcha.
Yes. And neither one of them are on this particular planes of existence anymore. So,
No, paragraph all you want, Foggy. Get what you need out.
right.
If it's too much for Izzy, I'm here. If it's and so is Julie. So
Yes. Though I do think it's funny, as being down to the end with just 3 of us and Froggy being up next. But we had 2 powerhouses and then my Piddly Annie, uh, a almost 900 words. So it was like, "Oh,
I
okay, that's."
mean, that's more than my submission or lack thereof.
You always submit, you're allowed a night off, okay?
I mean, I haven't submitted too much this year so far. Been at
You've
best every
submitted
other
enough.
week, if that.
Yes, but you're also in that point of editing.
Yeah, true. I'm in the
So
thick of
that
it
you are in the thick of it. And I am obsessed with my chopsticks. I don't know why I'm obsessed with my metal chopsticks, but I am obsessed with my metal chopsticks. Um,
because metal chopsticks are fun.
they are, and I the other day, and by the other day, I mean I think it was like 3 weeks ago, 3 4 weeks ago. I got Chinese delivered because I found out there is one place I can actually get it delivered from, and they didn't put fucking chopsticks in the bag, and I was a little annoyed. But I had bought these in hopes that they would be hairpins, and they're too long for my hair and where they don't stick up and like stab me. So, uh now I'm sitting here and I've been watching tutorial videos on how the proper way to use them and the proper way in which to, steady your fingers on them. And I'm already really good with chopsticks. I have been since high school, and I learned how to use them on a dare. And for those that don't know, it's a toss up between Mexican food and Chinese food, which is my favorite. I mean, it just is. Like, you can't be sad when you're eating an egg roll, but you also can't be sad when you're eating queso. You just can't.
True.
And you can be pissed off while eating it, but eventually,
Oh yeah.
the cheese works into your system, and then everything's happy. Uh,
I think anyone except for people who are maybe allergic to seafood would happily attempt to consume their own weight in sushi.
I don't like sushi. And Izzy and
Okay,
everybody
except for
is
Julie.
absolutely well, I mean, I think everybody is absolutely certain that I just got bad sushi. Um, and then I actually need to go to a sushi place because I got sushi at a Chinese restaurant. And
Mm, I
they're like,
wouldn't
no,
say
go to
that.
an actual sushi place and
Yeah,
like
I
give it
mean,
another chance.
I've had good sushi at Chinese places, but also they're um not the most stellar place to get it
Yeah, like
either.
right. Especially at the particular hour in which we got it.
Mhm.
Um, but I did give it a chance. I did try it. Um, I'm okay with sticky rice. It is a texture that you have to it is an acquired texture. Izzy, do you just not like? Oh, the concept turns her stomach. Okay, so me and Izzy don't have to eat sushi. Izzy didn't like sushi.
No,
As far as I know, Izzy doesn't like Chinese food.
Izzy does
Now,
not
are
like
you
Chinese
not
food.
wanting sushi or sashimi? Because there's actually a huge difference between the two.
Anything that looks like it. I've never tasted it. Any of it. Now, Chinese food, like on the general, going to a Chinese restaurant or whatnot, the smell turns my stomach. So, like, how can I put something in my mouth where the concept of it, the idea of it, or the smell of it instantly makes me nauseous? And it's nothing against it. I have made egg drop soup before, completely homemade, and I did like it. It was for a foods project in high school, but yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Now, what
Well,
most
see, I'll
Americans
get
recognize as sushi is actually sashimi.
well, all I know is when I get to come up there in August, you guys get to pick all the restaurant or you get to pick the restaurant while I'm there because I don't know what the fuck's in the area. So
I don't either.
What
It's
area
like
is it?
in Carmel, Indiana.
Carmel? Oh, I know
Yeah.
a few restaurants down there. I gotcha.
Okay. We are set. Our stylist has
so
us covered
Ash
on
is in
food as
charge of
well.
food.
Yep.
And it's not going to be anything exotic, I promise. Girl Scout honor.
All right, here we go.
What do we
Foggy.
consider exotic?
I- okay. We've decided. Julie and I are definitely Italian Mexican people. We like the Italian and Mexican food and American.
That's not exotic, though. I'm not going to
No,
choose
it's
like an
not.
Indian restaurant or anything like that, is what I'm
That's
saying.
that right.
Or if I do, I'm going to go by myself because I love me a good curry.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Foggy. And no, I'm just giving you a rash of shit, Fogs. Okay. It's good. It's all good. The icy winds blew by as the sentinel carried her toward the massive castle built into the mountainside at the back of this forsaken city. Celia had never been this high before, and the scope of the world forced her throat closed and her heart to thunder in her ears. Do not fear the dragon. Gao Shi is more humble than he appears. The sentinel's mind and stone body were exceptionally warm. It's not the dragon that I'm scared of. For emphasis, she imagined herself falling and sent that with the thought. Not a fan of this height, then. To me, this is the definition of freedom. His mind weighed in hers. Thoughts he chose to share were smooth, even human like, but they were as straightforward as a sword. There was a cadence to his presence, a texture even. It felt like a heavy blanket. She might fear the fall, but she couldn't deny her love of the view from up here. Their destination, Castle Nura, was pressed against the sheer mountain face, and the city's spires topped the irregular streets below. A maze that sprawled out from that dark, monolithic castle. Freedom, she mused. She knew full well that it could read her memories, so she thought about that word's implications to her, projecting it that alone couldn't let her be happy for her own sake. Her memories had been of her imprisonments. It had happened twice. One memory of being barred in a dingy cell next to a talkative drunk for the longest month of her life. The other, a lonely weekend locked away and tied to a chair for interrogations after a job went sideways. Those old memories sombered her. The Sentinel's thoughts cut through the memories. Freedom is more than who pulls your strings. It's still more than those physical bonds. It is the will to keep living. That drew her eyes from the inbound castle to the Guardian's painted wings. They shimmered a pale silver, glowing brighter with each wing beat. The sentinel slowed its speed as they crossed the castle's untended gardens. Her thought came fast. The will to keep living? Are you even alive? Their speed slowed when they started to sink into the buildings again. On the descent toward the castle, she realized how incredibly rude that thought could be taken. Adir had all kinds of magical life, and these sentinels were no different, right? I do not believe we are alive in the same way. However, I do think, and therefore I do act of my own volition. In the sense of an individual, I am alive. I may thrive off magic rather than food, and I do not need to sleep, but can still rest my mind. Ultimately, I can still feel my stones and gears when they get damaged, though it's no physical pain to us. It settled onto the overgrown and broken pathway at the base of the grand stairs. It knelt and released her with the utmost care. Celia's knees wobbled under her as she found her footing. These sentinels only stood 10 feet tall and by all accounts were extremely dangerous, She'd never heard tales of how gentle they were. It honestly surprised her. That made her consider, do you have a name? Its mental laughter rocked through Celia's whole body and mind at once. The mental bellowing slowed, and it offered a thought. My apologies, Lady Veragorn. You are the first human to ask for my name in all my time. The other angels and dragons know me as Elberdine, the 47th make. She was about to ask him how long he's been alive when he held up a palm and then pointed up the stairs. Go now. Gaushi awaits you in the grand foyer. The moment he sensed her leadened dread, he added, don't fear the dragon. He is quite pleasant and a little lazy, but otherwise kinder than he may appear. That did help to ease her hackled hair. Thank you, Elberdine, and thank you again for saving us back at the manor. Elberdine responded to her by pulling the sword from his back without a sound. They were so quiet, it was uncanny. He proceeded to stab the ground before him. The flat facing out, he gave a deep bow. His stone hood and masked face touched the hilt as he held its grip with both fists. May Aldrine brighten your mind. Taken aback by the high honor, it left her unsure of how to respond. She gave a small bow in return before she rocked back on her heels, spun about, and started the slow climb up the giant staircase. She hated Elberdine for making her climb these steps. Looking up, there weren't that many stairs, but her exhaustion made her boots feel like bricks and her back ache even more. At the top, two towering statues flanked the main entrance. Both statues held shields before them. On the shields were the crest of Lozerne Grave, a phoenix encircled by 5 flaming flower petals. Now thoroughly winded by the climb and still as wary about actually meeting a dragon, she hadn't the slightest clue of what to expect from Gaushi, and the prospect both excited and terrified her, but her curiosity won out. Celia started forward. The statues reached out from behind their shields and gripped the door's pillared stone handles. The grind of stone grated against her ears, so she slapped her hands against her head to watch the doors open a little ways before halting. She'd survived as a mercenary almost her whole adult life, so she barely noticed how bad she smelt. But the excess of pristine wealth before her made it abundantly clear how out of place she was. That, and she just spent 3 full days exploring this grimy city. But this wasn't just elegant. This was magnitudes above the richest estates she'd ever seen. Stepping inside struck her dumb. She'd seen grand foyers before, but this? The walls were opulent white marble with pillars that separated immaculate murals that stretched from the floor to the ceiling. They even stretched across the domed ceilings between structural arcs. The floor was still polished, featuring intricately woven gold and silver veins that ran like waves along both sides of the central black rug. It had a springy softness to it that clashed in the worst way possible. She wanted to collapse and sleep right there. Instead, she rubbed at her eyes, but it didn't help. The curiosity that caught her attention most of all, obscene wealth aside, was the thin veil that crept lazily across the floors and made her skin prickle. Despite the stillness of the room, it flowed around her, but avoided touching her. It came up to her waist and seemed to move on its own. She looked closer at the mists, since it appeared to shimmer in the glow of the freshly placed lanterned candles. Not a single candle she inspected had dripped any wax yet. Bizarre as that was, it unnerved her. It must be that dragon's doing, wherever he is. Welcome! The voice detonated in her mind, and Celia was knocked to her ass under the weight of his mind. The stripe of carpet underfoot only offered a slightly softer landing. She rubbed her hip and noted that the cold, lingering shroud had drawn away from her. Then she saw that the mists consisted of tiny snowflakes and droplets of ice. She whipped around when the front doors were pushed closed with a deafening bang. She turned back around and screamed. A beady-eyed eel hovered almost nose to nose with her. Forcing her body to act, she clambered away in a hurry. Holy shit! Its lipless maw hung partly open, presenting her with 3 rows of razor sharp teeth, some of which sat at gnarly angles. The dragon was so small and hovered on rhythmic beats of its 3 sets of wings. No larger than a squirrel, Gauche looked to be an eel with a long snake like body, with 2 stocky shoulders and forelegs, each ending in 4 forward laid talon like claws. I'm the dragon currently on duty to guard this keep. My name is Gaushi, and you, Ms. Cilia Veragorn, have made quite the splash today. He waved a 4 clawed, webbed palm in a wide circle. The snowy mist followed the motion. Please find it within you to calm yourself. We must speak on the importance of your arrival. Oh, yes. What a fortuitous day this has turned out to be. I may get to leave here prematurely. Celia's mind reeled, but a deep breath helped calm her frayed nerves. She fixed herself and shifted to cross her legs under her. There's an entire castle here, and I'm stuck sitting on a carpet. Gaushi, I was told you had a test for me, but can it wait? I'd love to find some food and get some sleep or a bath first. It's been a. The cold veil danced around her, thickening across the whole of the foyer hall. She could no longer see the murals or the floor. The faint blue, pale blue fog clung to all and was swept around on invisible wind. A thought dawned on her, so she locked her eyes with the strange little dragon. You're this mist, aren't you? Celia asked. His head flung upward, and he bellowed a laugh that reverberated off the walls and through the swirling fog, which now lurched toward Gauchi. The tiny flakes of crystalline snow coalesced, merging into Gaushi's being. It was then when he gradually began to grow. Eventually, he was forced to settle to the floor, his wingspan becoming too wide even for this vast foyer. The pearlescent scales across his body were the same size as her, and then there were his teeth, each of which could easily be the size of Elberdine. That I am. I'm also an elder dragon of the sea, he shared with a soft mental touch. My, should she pray or beg? She didn't know what to do here. Having never been especially religious, she realized with utter certainty that she had been grossly dismissive toward every story she had ever heard. She was so utterly insignificant to this dragon. Morelia. Gaushi's monstrous head swung down to rest lopsided on the floor, watching her with one big blue eye. If nothing else, he's a force of nature. Now, let's get to the purpose of your visit. You have proven to be well aligned with Aldrine's soul. To that end, this test, if you wish to proceed with it, will determine whether or not you would be a compatible companion to Lord Aldrine. Do you know what the champion's purpose is? They stabilize their domain's magic or something. I just never thought I like being me. She knew enough to know why they needed to exist, but could she actually want that? The prospects of immortality? What would that even be like? Would she become like Elberdine or lose herself within Eldrine? Cilia, you would retain your own autonomy, but you would become a part of the Titan. It is a heavy decision, and so take your time and make your choice wisely. Lord Eldrine already knows you. Do you wish to know him? She took her time, closed her eyes, and meditated on the implications of it. I just don't want to become another King Grav, but the city needs a ruler. The world needs Eldraholt. What happens to me if I fail? You will be returned to your friends who await your safe return, and nothing in this domain will change. I will remain here, charged to protect this castle for another 30 years. It's cramped. His voice was as smooth as a gently flowing river through her inner ear. Fine. I accept his invitation. The corner of his mouth quirked upward in amusement. He pointed a claw at her. Then sleep well. A sheet of frosted wind swept over her, and the world went dark. She stood on nothing, but the air felt firm beneath her. All of Elderholt and an endless horizon of the countryside were inverted. The sky was a blackened void around both moons. The grounds glowed with ambient tidal waves of overlapping magical clouds. A figure stood beside her. She could feel him, but she dared not look his way. Celia took in the view. Little flashes of light winked to life and just as quickly disappeared, all throughout the waves that glowed far below. She could put two and two together. If the person standing beside her were Aldrine himself, then this must be his reality? Was this? That's correct. This is my mind. Those waves are my soul, the magic of mind. All those little lights, all the creatures that draw upon me. Celia found her voice and it felt so small. What's my test? She turned to take in the Titan of Mind's avatar. Aldrine stood tall, wrapped in a simple flowing robe. He looked really old, ancient, really. A bold man with a thick, curly beard. He smiled a toothy smile that made his pudgy face wrinkle even more. His jovial demeanor calmed her turmoil. He spoke, and his voice swept in from everywhere. A wind's howl or a lively forested chorus. She couldn't equate it. You have already passed my test. I do understand you better than you yourself. I understand your soul's dilemma with my brothers and sisters, but to repair the damage my domain has suffered, I need a champion, one whose heart and mind are honest. He reached out to touch her shoulder. At that moment, her consciousness became his. She felt what it was like to be him, to be a titan, to be the entire domain of mind. She could feel every person and animal that could think, from a cat after an unwitting mouse to every soul in every town. He removed his hand from her shoulder, retracting her world abruptly. It left her feeling hollowed. Was that? What would it be like? His simple nod spoke fathomless depths. To me, to be my champion is a difficult balance of self to all, but I would do all in my power to assist you. Celia looked out across the lands. If I can help our domain, she looked back at him, firmer than she had been ever before, the feeling of her decision making her spirit solidified slightly. I'll accept. He bowed to her, and the world around them echoed his thoughts. This will prove to be a new era. The dream faded, and everything went back to darkness. When she awoke to find herself laying on the damp, uneven ground of an underground cavern, all around her were crisscross threads that gleamed brighter than heated metal. The magical tethers clung to the walls and ran between sleek surfaces. There had to have been thousands of the branching verticals and smoking lines. For Elderholt's future, I'm an idiot for today.
Is there any more?
Do we have an out of story error or we ran out of words error? I beg your finest fucking pardon. You can't put me in the middle and give me the fucking dragon and give me all this other fucking shit and then just poof, poof, just leave it fucking there. I
What
understand we've got a
thing?
2,500 word thing. I understand that. But I swear to fucking God, and by the child that's trying to get my attention, there will be a wiffle ball bat.
Exactly,
Well done,
Bitzer.
Foggy. Well done, Foggy. You got a Julie rage and an out of story error.
that did not okay, look, I realized that the prose was very flowy, but I followed all of it. I could literally picture it in my mind, but at the same time, it was like out of body experience. How do you express that? How do you describe that? And yet you fucking did. Like it did not feel like 2,500 words. Right? There are some times where y'all put in 2,500 words and I'm sitting here going, "Are we almost to the end of that?" Like, where are we going with this?" And what and it just kept flowing. Now, also, um it actually reminded me of, a book I read once. I accidentally got rid of it, so I don't know, but it was called The Last Dreaming of Inverness or The Last Guardian of Everness, something like that. Um, and just the dream sequence, things that shouldn't go together. It just chef's kiss. Ow, wrist.
Out of story error is a good thing. That means we were really into it, Foggy.
It's like, okay, okay, I'm like, okay, I'm see where you're going with this. Okay, gonna be the champion, and here we go. And then all of a fucking story, boom, we're fucking out of words. Like, what the fuck?
It
I
it it
mean,
basic
we
it
only have
basically
me to blame.
means yeah, yeah. It out of story error, which we're gonna have to create a
A
award
button for.
redeemable whatever. Um it basically means that we were so engrossed in it that when it was done, it's abruptly like, wait, it's over? What? No. Like it's that shift to where you're so engrossed, you forget that you're on a show, you forget that you're listening to words, you forget that there's a word limit. And then
Yeah.
it's this abrupt, dope, back to reality,
Oh,
you know?
there goes gravity.
Yeah. Out of story error. A gif of Eminem going back to reality. Wow. Wow. God, I am so hot. So
Honestly,
stinking
I
hot.
didn't think Foggy was one of those that I was gonna have to that I was gonna get rage baited on. But
Rage baited, huh? Okay.
well, now it's a tally. So Julie Rage.
Yeah. As in 5.
Well, we can go
Huh,
ahead and
however
are
you
we
want.
gonna wait and spinny spin spin or
No, we're gonna spinny spin spin. Who's next? Who's next? Julie.
yeah.
She sounds so enthusiastic.
She does. Roscoe drummed her fingers on the steering wheel before deciding who to call next. She understood the need to quietly activate her network. After all, she needed more eyes than the 6 she currently commanded. They would probably be more than happy to hear her voice, but she didn't want to get them involved unless it was absolutely necessary. Roscoe wasn't ready to answer any questions she didn't have answers for just yet. Looking at the clock on the dash, she sighed. It had been nearly 3 hours since she had left the shop, and if her calculations were correct, as they normally were, someone would be calling any minute to find out what she had gotten herself into. Well, if I didn't work with the 2 biggest gossips in the area, I wouldn't have to make this call. Roscoe tapped the headset and yelled, Aunt D, to activate. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3. Roscoe tightened her hands on the steering wheel, praying no one was home to pick up the phone. You've reached Donna. Roscoe sighed with relief while she left her message explaining that she would not be there for Sunday dinner. Fuck! Roscoe screamed, which garnered some side eye from Major. What? You know if Aunt Dee doesn't answer, that's going to lead me into having to call Sven. Major cocked his head at her and huffed. Yeah, I know. But he might be busy out on the ranch. Roscoe tapped the earpiece one more time, saying, "Cuz." It didn't take long for him to answer, but it was loud wherever he was. Hey, cuz. Yeah, I know it's been a minute. No, everything is fine. I tried calling Aunt Donna, but no one was answering. It's not really important. I just wanted her to know that I'm not going to make Sunday dinner. No, I got a job, and it looks like I'm headed up to the pass for a few days. There was a pause while she tried to listen over the sound of background noise. Hey, quick question. Does the Manning boy still work out at Pompeii? Interesting. Does he by chance still drive that shitty looking blue Ford? Oh, no reason. Just a gut feeling. Do me a favor. Keep an eye out for me. All right, cuz. Yeah, love you too. She tapped her thumb on the gear shift with a gnawing feeling in her gut. For her, this almost felt like deja vu. Roscoe couldn't put her finger on why. Making her last call before she would lose signal, she called her contact up at the Canadian border. Took less than 2 rings before Mountie McMuller answered. Hey there, love. How's it going? Oh, SSDD. Got a question to ask you. What you got, sweet cheeks? Roscoe cringed at the endearment before continuing. You had a blue truck try to cross over in the last 3 days? Girl probably didn't have identification. Not up by me, but I can make a few calls and check the computer for you. Why, what's up? Just working a case. I'm covering all my bases. Oh, okay. This mean you're heading up my way? I'm off in a few hours. Could go grab dinner, and we can catch up back at my place. Rain check. I'm going to hold over at the Moran Ranger Station tonight. Gather a little more information before I decide what direction I'm headed in. All right. I'll give you a call back in a few hours then. Talk to you soon. Roscoe ended the call before McMuller could had any more time to convince her to warm his bed tonight. Well, no news was typically good news. In these kinds of cases, it wasn't. Too many things weren't adding up from the start. Roscoe reached for her pack of cigarettes, sliding her elbow back on the armrest. It wasn't until she heard Major let out a whine she had realized what she had done. Apparently, Major had thought it was a good idea to put his lovey on top of the armrest, which had now been knocked behind the seat. Gripping the unlit cigarette between her teeth, Roscoe leaned over with her right arm to fish the raccoon plushie out of its hiding spot. Took a couple of tries, and she almost had put the truck and trailer into the guardrail, but she had retrieved it. Looking at the stuffed critter, Roscoe wanted to scream. What was once bought out of love, or at least to show her love to someone else, was now being cherished by Major. Keep your lovey off my armrest, please. We don't need an accident. Roscoe's eyes refocused back onto the road with a familiar voice playing in the back of her head in a heavy Russian accent. Don't get into anything you can't get out of. She glanced at the dog now, contentedly snuggling his lovey before returning her attention to the road. Major, am I going to be able to get myself out of this? The dog whined, throwing a look over his shoulder. Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. This may be one of those things he warned me about. Dun dun dun.
Is that the same Donna that was in Izzy's story?
And the phone call to Sven? That's my Sven?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Why am
Yep,
I
yep,
the
yep.
only one like in shock here? Yep, there she
What?
goes. There she goes.
What?
Aries needs me for something. I'll be right back.
I know you do. I know. I gotta give you some shit.
You said, "Why are you the only what?"
Only one in shock.
In shock what?
Not in shock. I'm just trying to be funny. I don't know. I'm getting really tired. You can't
Here,
because I can't
you
think
are
straight.
ha have you reached 14th level of delirium?
13th. 13th. We're not quite to 14th
13th.
yet.
That's all right. We are done, Fitzer. We are done with that one. So, let's run that let that run because last but not least, we have Death's Head, one of our loquacious writers. If I remember correctly, went right up to the limit. So real quick, go to the bathroom, get fans. Good God, it is hot in here. It's getting hot in here. I promise I won't do the next line. Okay. Yeah. Um, so there we go. Wait a bada bing. Let it do the
Oh, excuse me.
Wilhelm F. Ruffy. And ads. So real quick, refill your glasses, hydrate or dihydrate, check your posture, all the things. Uh Now suddenly the ad thing went away. I don't know. Okay.
So you were a little shocked. Is that what I heard?
Not really. Because you two have been like plotting this shit for weeks now. I knew it was
Right.
eventually going to come up.
Yes.
I mean, if it gets Izzy published and writing, I'm for it. So
Oh, I'm pretty sure by the time we're done with the hers, mine, and ours, uh, of the skinny of it, I'm pretty sure either people are gonna love us, hate us, or want to lynch us. I'm not exactly sure which.
or lynch you lovingly.
We get lynch us lovingly.
Now she needs to remember I only live 10 minutes away.
Yes, yes. Um, I don't. Well, wait a minute. You might. You might. On the prequel, you might. I'm gonna think you wouldn't right off the bat, but you might have to reread it and then go with what, and then there's gonna be a. I will be probably lulled into a false sense of security and appear, and when that happens, then it will be I will be bopped on the head. I think that's the way that one's gonna go. Yeah.
Maybe. I like to keep people on their toes.
Oh no, no, I'm totally agree with that. Um, but I think I know you enough that you would lull me into a false sense of security and then bop me on the head. Uh, that's how I didn't say what you were gonna bop me on the head with. I just said you're gonna bop me on the head.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I know there's quite a few in this group that will because The funny thing is okay, mine is I'm guessing it would be classified as a crime suspense thriller. Um, Izzy's is an emotional thriller, um, so to speak. And then you have the prequel, which I think is going to be just a form of straight up smut. Uh, could be
That
different,
that that part, that part's going to be like kept for the book, right? Maybe.
probably yes.
How's everyone enjoying the stories tonight?
Yeah, what's everybody else's opinion down in the Yeah, I've got to rework that section because we actually it was me and as we were talking and I was just trying to get it out in time. I've got to actually rearrange the phone calls.
Eh, it's a rough draft.
It is a rough draft.
It's her. It's just going to be the first one in, as usual. Yep. 1,600 words in. Makes sense.
Oh yeah. I don't put it past Bitzer. It usually comes down to Trisha Bitzer or Sticks when Sticks writes for the show. It comes down to those three who's first. And I've seen Sticks while on air of us doing the second night or within, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour after we end the show on a Saturday night of already having it done and in. And I'm sitting there like, not all of us can write that fast.
I mean, we know I can be very prolific when I am writing, but right now I am, as Julie said, in the thick of editing, which is very time consuming and energy sucking, by the way.
And making it longer.
You know what? I've actually cut more than I did than added to the one chapter.
Okay.
I'd cut almost 10,000 words before I added almost 1,600 to the chapter I finished today.
There we go. All right. Are we done with ads? Because I don't see it on my
Ah,
screen.
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't see anything on mine either.
Come on, move. Thank you. Okay. There we go. Back to An Elder Illusion, part 21, aka the Spider Cult. Moon shadows flashed over Robert as he gritted his teeth, gripping the wheel tight. He drove like a madman away from the asylum for what he wished to be the final time. An old adage about hope flashed through his mind, but he pushed it away, focusing on the road instead. In the passenger seat sat a nervous Ignacio, while in the back, Sarah held Nurse Georgina as their forced guest. For the fourth time, Sarah pressed the woman. You are positive it's Hood Mountain? How many times do you have to keep asking that? Georgina snapped. Yes, I heard Dr. Lowry and Pastor Eugene talking about it twice. Now, would you stop the car and let me go? It'll only be worse for you to be pulled over with me in the car. I ain't slowing down, Robert shot over his shoulder. You should. She's right. They'll hang me if we're caught. Of that, there is no mistake. Don't you get it? Sarah asked. They're trying to end the world. Do we need her for anything else? Ignacio asked. If not, then we either release her or. I'm not a murderer, Robert muttered, shooting his passenger a dark glare. Don't hit at anything like that again. I saw you shoot down 3 men and whatever that shadow at the winery was. It is true, you have not been convicted of manslaying. Good, and we're keeping it that way. Silence filled the car as they wound through the trees on that dusty road, the bumps jostling and turning them as the eerie peak of Hood Mountain loomed in the distance. Robert took a deep breath and glanced at Sarah. Do we need Georgina for anything else? You can't be. Yes or no? She might be useful, Sarah said quietly. We don't know what else she knows. And she might stab us in the back. Robert slowed the car to a stop, motioning with his hand. Go on, get out of here. Thanks a lot, Georgina muttered, opening the door and stepping out on into the road, looking forlornly into the night. Robert hesitated a moment, asking, You sure you want to brave the night? Might as well, she replied, trudging up the road. I doubt we'll ever see one another again, so goodbye. Goodbye, Robert said, punching the gas. It's a mistake to let her go, Sarah muttered, crossing her arms. Maybe so, Robert said, his gaze focusing on that mountain peak. But what's done is done. No stars could ever be visible above the ruined cathedral carved from the living rock beneath Hood Mountain. Jack held his breath, his heart thundering in his ears, as he crept through the cavern where it stood, his eyes searching for any sign of foes. Each echoing step was a heart attack, a signal for them to open fire or cast their spells or do anything at all. Instead, there was dead silence. Tension rose in Jack, the Tommy gun shaking his hands, until at last Jeremiah broke the silence with a gasp as he crossed the threshold. It was a miracle that the old man didn't end up with 10 rounds right through his back. Jack's trigger finger fumbling as he swung towards the noise, but he could see nothing but the old man's back. That was until Jeremiah ventured inside, letting him follow. Stone pews stood in rows on either side, leading to an altar. Here, the pastor knelt, looking upon a blasphemous image of Baphomet, crucified upon a wagon wheel. 16 candles burned around the icon, casting furtive shadows over the ruins. Well, there's something you don't see every day, Jack muttered. Eugene, why? Jeremiah croaked, sweeping down the center aisle towards him. Lowry, I understand. His path led him to disregard humanity. But you? A bitter lesson must be had, Eugene replied, wincing as he rose from his knees and turned his tired eyes upon Jack and Jeremiah. Mankind has gone astray this century and the last. We have grown too comfortable and too cruel. The Great War is proof of this, as is the rise of Bolshevism and the worship of money. You're talking nonsense. You'll bring untold horrors into the world. The fall of Rome brought untold horrors, but heretofore unknown piety. We banded together then in the light of God. We shall do so again when new horrors destroy the ungodly empires our hubris has allowed to rise. That's a load of horse shit, Jack scoffed. You'll just make a lot of people dead. I will not try to make you understand. It took years for my own eyes to be opened, and we have not the time left for that. You know then that we must try to stop you, Jeremiah said softly. And if you will not release the spell upon your parishioners, then we will have little recourse but to stop their choir by more violent means. Please don't make us kill them. I fear you have this backwards, my old friend. I must stop you, even if it costs me my soul to do so. He reached under his shirt, uttering something in ancient Greek. Old man, get back! Jack barked, shouldering the Tommy gun. I'll ventilate him. No, don't! Jeremiah cried, lunging then and seizing Eugene's hand. The two wrestled, Jeremiah shouting, Please, I need your help, Jack. If he dies, something worse will take residence inside his flesh. A whispered echo reached Jack's ears, sending a shiver down his spine as a cold wind wafted up the corridor. He raced forward, letting the Tommy gun clatter to the floor. As he grabbed hold of the pastor, the old man was surprisingly strong for his age. As they scuffled back and forth, Eugene's shirt was ripped open, revealing a pentacle of blood across his chest. Hold him still. Keep that knife from anything important, Jeremiah said, stepping back from the fight. What are you doing, old man? Jack shot back. I must silence the choir. Jeremiah picked up the machine gun, cringing as he cradled it in his hands. I must go. If I do not return, help me subdue him, Jack shouted. The old man hurried away, leaving Jack to grapple with Eugene as the wind grew stronger and whispered voices louder. It almost sounded like they were singing. Oh, fuck. If you hear the singing, it's already too late. From last submission, Jack hears the singing. Okay, okay. Sorry, little story aside of memory. Okay. The road up to Hood Mountain came to an abrupt end in front of Robert. The church trucks parked to one side, telling him that he had come to the right place. Breathing heavily, he hopped out and started up the trail, calling back, How far is it to the mines? Not far, Sarah replied, hurrying to catch up. Is there any coming back from this, amigo? Ignacio asked, looking wearily upon the abandoned trucks. Or are we going one way? I intend to come back alive, Robert retorted, checking his pistol. Now hurry up. The trio ventured onto the tree-lined trail, which switched back and forth across the steep slope. The wind was picking up, rustling through the branches overhead, when the mine shaft entrance appeared quite suddenly, and something echoed from inside, an ethereal noise whispering into the night. Robert drew his gun, Ignacio shouldering his, as Sarah turned on the flashlight and plunged inside. The three hurried between the old mine cart tracks, passing under the rickety support beams as the tunnel meandered back and forth along an ancient gold seam which had been exhausted decades before. At the end of the tunnel was a great open chamber, a pit leading into the void below, more tunnels arrayed like spokes around the edges. And there, on the ceiling, was the choir. Madre de Dios, Ignacio gasped as the blue visages of the churchgoers came into view. There was a clatter, Jeremiah spilling into view, clutching Jack's Tommy gun. Where's my brother? Sarah snapped, rounding on Jeremiah. He's fighting with Pastor Eugene, but we must silence the choir. How? Robert asked. Bullets. We're not committing mass murder, Robert shouted, running around the edge of the void and seizing hold of Jeremiah. There must be another way. There is no time, Jeremiah cried. Do you not think I'd tell you of another plan if there were one? The Song of Bagran has begun, and if it finishes, the world will be shaken to its roots. Now let me go. I shall do what needs to be done. Get a hold of yourself, old man, Robert shouted, wrenching the gun from his fingers. What is making those people blue and holding them to the ceiling? A curse. Some foul spell work. And where is the spell? Sarah asked. If we break the curse, it will be all the way at the bottom of this shaft, too far away to reach before the choir reaches the fatal notes. Is there water down there? Sarah asked, stepping to the edge. Sarah, Robert croaked. Answer me, old man, she said, glaring at him. The lower levels are likely flooded, yes, but. And then Sarah jumped into the void. Robert cursed, running to the rim and looking down into the darkness below. A muted splash echoed from the gloom. Sarah's voice calling to them. What am I looking for? A sigil. It will be obvious, but. Someone tossed me down a hammer, Sarah called. Damn it all, Robert muttered, running to the nearest mine cart and then the next, lifting a pickaxe from inside. Will a pick work? Sure, give it to me, Sarah called. I think I. There was a gurgling noise and a scream cut off by a splash. Gritting. Ugh. Gritting his teeth, Robert ran back to the pit, shouting, I'm going down for her. Ignacio, keep him from shooting those people. I'll do my best, the man muttered, taking up the Tommy gun as he looked up at the blue-faced choir. But Dios mío, if what the old man says is true. Robert stopped listening, instead drawing his revolver in one hand and wielding the pickaxe in the other as he leaped into the abyss below. Sarah was no stranger to being accosted underwater, but the monstrous being trying to drag her down was one unknown in Earth oceans. Leathery bat wings, horns protruding from its top over a faceless head, and ripping claws on its four limbs. The night gaunt was not something she had ever wanted to see. Still, she thrashed her tail and grappled with the monster as they thrashed about in the fetid mine waters. There was a second splash, the silhouette of Robert appearing overhead. Sarah pointed, trying to shout out the sigil she had found, but the night gaunt covered her mouth with its savage hand. Sorry, tentacle flashbacks. She bit down, bitter ichor oozing into her mouth from the wound. Sarah stared into the eyeless face until a crack echoed through the waters, the monster falling limp as the blade of the pickaxe struck its skull. Sarah shoved it aside and seized Robert's hand, pulling him to the blue glowing sigil hidden just under the water's surface. He reared back with the pickaxe and let it fly, smashing into the fragile stone. With a muffled crunch, it broke, the glowing lights fizzling out. There was no time to celebrate, for a chorus of screams echoed through the air above, followed by the choir splashing down around them. Sarah looked to Robert, whispering, We have to help them. More time for Lowry and all the others, Robert groaned, holstering his pistol as he pushed up a woman on the verge of drowning. Sarah joined in too, hoping that someone above would find rope before too long. It was only after Jack had gained the upper hand and subdued Pastor Eugene once and for all, his hands shaking as he held the man down, that Ignacio and Jeremiah skidded into the ruined cathedral. He shot them a dirty look, muttering, You chose now, not any time when it would have been helpful. You should be glad what I spared you from contemplating, Jeremiah replied, waving his hand as Ignacio marched forward and wrapped up Eugene with some spare rope. Now I need your help rescuing the choir from a watery fate. Forget that. Where is my father? Jack asked, rising to his feet. I doubt he's here. Then we need to go after him. And leave all those people to drown? Ignacio asked, shooting him a glance. Oh, fine, Jack muttered, wondering how long it would take Lowry and the spider that long to get back from Casper. Relief flooded through Robert as the last of the choir was helped up the rope. The darkness had kept them from seeing himself or Sarah too closely, and as he lifted himself up onto the rope, the worst of the water dripping away, his human form returned to him. Sarah handed him his pants, her comment mercifully lost to the murmur echoing down the shaft. He pulled on his pants and then shimmied up the rope, arriving up top to find the soaked and confused churchgoers all arguing with one another while Jeremiah, Ignacio, and Jack looked on from near the entrance. Robert squeezed some of the water from his clothes as he marched up to them, muttering, "Now can we get moving?" "We have a pastor tied up in a deeper shaft," Jack replied. "We should get these people out of here first, then move him to our car." Robert nodded, drawing his pistol and firing a round into the ceiling. Shouts and screams followed this, but he was tired of wasting time. "Out! Everyone out! There are trucks waiting for you outside." "But," came one voice, "the man with the gun is telling you to get out. Don't make me repeat myself." He fired a second round, the crowd moving at a reasonable clip down between Jeremiah and Ignacio into the tunnel. With a sigh, he stepped over and took Sarah's hand, helping her up off the rope. "Looks like we're almost through." Sarah nodded, falling in at his side as they marched down the tunnel the way they had come. A bright light shined from outside, Robert shielding his eyes. "Did we spend all night in there?" Jack muttered. That was when another shot rang out. Robert dropped to the ground, dragging Sarah with him. As he looked out the tunnel entrance, dragging Sarah with him as he looked out the tunnel entrance. Outside, a dozen armed men were arrayed with spotlights, all in sheriff and police uniforms. Damn it. Just, can they not win? Can they fucking not win? The voice of Sheriff Lawrence called through a megaphone. "Your crime spree is over, Robert Astor. Come out with your hands up." "Go to hell," Robert called, crawling back with the others around the bend. "You're already there, Robert. Thanks to that little kidnapping and waving a gun around like a maniac, I have you dead to rights. And there's no running. All of your likenesses are on the wire service. Now, are we doing this the easy way or the hard way?" Dun dun dun.
No. Fucking no. Look, I said I wanted it hard. I didn't say without fucking Vaseline. You can't. Look, Death, I love you. I love you to death. We love your stuff and everything like that. But if you do this to me one more fucking week of they almost get away, shit, there's the fucking cops. They almost get away, shit, somebody got shot or kidnapped or something. I am going to drive to wherever the hell you are and whiffle by at you.
I'm sorry, Death. I didn't mean to have the word count truncated. Because that's the only reason she's mad, I'm sure. Maybe not. I think you should be mad at me, Julie.
Hold on a second. Izzy can't breathe. Easy. What the fucking hell?
It keeps us coming back.
It does keep us coming back. But each time I'm like, they're gonna get away. No, they're not. It's finally gonna happen. You've got a choir held hostage singing for their life, turning fucking blue, possibly gonna fucking die. These are innocent souls that are, I'm assuming, it being fucking sacrificed to whatever the hell's going on here. The only thing we're missing is the spider coming out of there and saying, "We're going to eat you now." That's all we're fucking missing.
because he's dead.
And that's this week on Hold My Pen Promptcast.
My eyes are leaking.
Holy shiitake mushrooms. Whew. Don't forget, this coming Saturday, have your submissions in by 3 p.m. Central Time. Bitzer can do their own math. Adjust your times accordingly. This next week is second to last of May for May's birthday challenge, which is also going to be our yearly May challenge of Make It Matter. Make the small, insignificant details matter. Make the make the characters care about something. Make it matter. Make it matter. Not just words for the sake of words. Um, and the two that you did not choose for the official prompt, however, as we have noticed this weekend, a lot of people are putting more than just one. You are more than welcome to do that. The start line for that was not chosen as the official is: in a town built on secrets, Isabella was about to uncover the one truth that would change everything. And the dialogue, they said it was impossible. I guess they were wrong. But what you all picked, very proud of you, by the way. Our audience has routinely chosen start line and dialogue as the winner. But this time you chose concept, just like last week. A character discovers they were protected from the truth for reasons they may not forgive. Remember that the limit is 2,500. And you can change pronouns, change the structure of start line or dialogue, change pronouns, change name, change professions, whatever's going to make it work. The whole point of these prompts is to spark your creativity and help you further in your books. Also, please remember that if Hold My Pen Promptcast as an entity has helped you in any way, shape, or form with your creativity, with your writing, with your conceptualizing, anything at all, please feel free to send us an email at the Hold My Pen Promptcast. It's holdmypenpromptcast@gmail.com. No, the in front of it. Uh, and give us your testimonial. All right. Make it. We would like to put it on our website because we'd like to start advertising our website and actually put content up there for people, to come and join us. Come and join us. So, also, don't forget that in the general writing prompt channel on Discord, you can give us your own prompts that you come across in the wild or ones that you come up with. You get credit. You get credit. So, as of right now, the rules are just let us know your pen name, right? Any kind of trigger warnings, pronunciation guides after really difficult words in the text, greatly appreciated. Uh, because I got a dumb American tongue and Kesh speaks Germangish.
And
So
I
we,
speak
we, we
Southern, but that doesn't mean it translates well.
there we go. At this point in time, there's old rules that said, when you first put in your submission, answer all these questions. Kind of, the first time you do it, great. Um, put it in there afterwards if you change your mind for a very specific thing. But please understand it's going to be in the video on YouTube. You no longer have to say yes, include in the YouTube rebroadcast because None of us have the spoons to go back and edit out anybody's stuff. That's why we have the AI be gone and the trigger warning at the beginning of our stream that these stories belong to you. We have been granted permission to reproduce them by your submission. Um, so by submitting them, you know that it's going to be on the YouTube rebroadcast. Please, we've also asked going forward, put your pen name in the subject line along with your word count because we are trying to get to 1,000,000 words read out on stream. And so on those off chances, those off days where Julie's running right up to the wire, I can jump in there, and because your word count and your pen name are in your subject line, I don't have to open your email and maybe accidentally see what you wrote. We don't we want authentic reactions from the Izzy. Okay, I think I've covered almost every single thing, and we came in under our normal on a Sunday. This is good. It's 10:30 my time, so I can actually go to bed at a
Yeah,
decent time because I got
I just
work.
have my little
So, anybody
right.
else have
I just have my
anything?
little exit spiel in.
I got something. Did we do the update on the track bear this week?
The update on the track bear. What update are you referring to?
Like where we're at, we're like count wise.
Oh, Bitzer in the comments. Bitzer's been keeping us up to date in our general channel with where we are at with the total number. Oh, da, 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 da.
930,000.
Yep, we are so close to 1,000,000 as a writing group. Not what's read out. So, about a month ago when I played Dirty Pool and decided, hey, you know what? Y'all are thinking this is too easy. You're like, oh, yeah, it's okay if I don't write. It's okay if I don't submit my numbers. We're going to get to 1,000,000, no problem. So I went ahead and played Dirty Pool and upped it to 3,000,000. I double dog dare you. Don't make me triple.
You already tripled it.
No, don't make me triple dog dare. I already done that to Julie once.
That's how we have this show, isn't it?
No,
No.
No.
that's how I made her make a completely irredeemable character sympathetic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So when people are gonna get mad at her and hate her and send her nasty little comments, why did you make me feel sorry for Kate? Yeah, that's my fault. I'm not even gonna say sorry, not sorry, because I'm not sorry.
Best villains are the ones you feel pity for.
Here's the crazy thing. This character reminds me of my adoptive mother.
And it's actually based on my grandmother.
That's saying a lot.
Ah, challenge accepted. Yes. Do we have more up for the challenge?
Is
Right, right,
Foggy
right.
actually putting word counts into Track
By
Bear?
the way, if you want to know how to do it, I don't think Foggy
Which
is on
that
our track
reminds
bear
me,
yet.
I need to add
I
mine.
don't also don't think
I haven't
Isu.
updated mine in a while.
That's new. The new guy's name or new
Isu.
person's name is Isu.
Isu. Oh, pardon me.
Okay, making sure I said
Also,
it right.
in
And
our
each
Twitch chat, it's Hellenic Taoist.
yes, I knew Twitch side where we were at, but
Yeah,
yeah, anybody who needs
Foggy.
help with how to get on the leaderboards and everything like that, um,
Foggy. Foggy. Get your numbers in.
I need to
Sign
update
up.
yeah,
mine. I haven't updated it in months.
Yes. Bitzer,
sign up.
thank
It's
you.
completely free.
Thank you. Anything you write is valid. Your blog, your emails, your fanfic. If you're sitting there just free form writing, brainstorming, it's creative words that you are putting on a page in one way, shape, or form. Okay. All of my brainstorming, like where I'm detailing things out. In fact, Julie and I have been working on a Bibble for our shared universe. We got to add those words into there yet because that counts.
It does count.
Of course,
I think it counts under
right?
you because you're the one typing it out, than it does me.
You did put a sentence in there.
Put a
Miss
couple.
Foggy, do you mean you've only added prompts or that's all you've done so far?
That's fine. That's fine. Look,
Either
Bitzer can tell
way.
you. Bitzer can tell you, right? Literally was saying, "Oh, I don't actually write all that much, so I couldn't, just logging my words. I don't think I'm going to be, able to contribute much."
They're literally the one carrying.
Between them and Glacia, Artemis Elf, they're carrying us. And Death's Head is right up there too.
And death. Those are
Yep.
our top 3.
Yeah. And there we go. Bits are right in the comments. I had no idea how loquacious I was. I mean, you knew how loquacious you were verbally, right? Um, but didn't realize that you were also doing that on the page. So yeah, sometimes that can be all the encouragement you need to sit there and go, you know what? I wrote 15 words this week. That's 15 more than I did before I started this journey. You, you know, there we go. The number of people that I've come across going, "Oh, I would absolutely love to do a journal, but I don't have the time. I can't sit down and write." And I I was I made a comment to somebody on Threads earlier this week where they were like, "I want to journal for my mental health, but I just don't know how to start. Where do I go with that?" And I snapped some photos of my journal and I was like, "I start with making the page pretty. How am I feeling in that moment?" And I make, washi tape and stickers and decorative papers and everything. And then when I feel like I'm in that zone and suddenly a thought occurs, I start writing. And this person was like, I don't know, I get so involved in doing the aesthetics that I'd never get around to writing. And I go, "So start with mood boards. Do that every day. Get into the habit of spending time with your journal. Name your journal. It's your friend. Doesn't talk back to you. It doesn't give you any insight, but it keeps your secrets. The things that you don't tell anybody else. Guess what? That's writing too, by the way. Bingo bango. You got to start somewhere.
Yep.
Well, that I see. I have a very difficult time believing that. Astonishingly quiet in real life because I consider our Discord video chats real life. You are really hanging out with friends. You're really having tea with friends or coffee or dinner or breakfast while everybody else in the room is having dinner. I mean, it is what it is. And nah, if we're the main source of people's socialization, okay. Nobody is an island. We're not alone in this world. It's a family. Okay, I will shut
Yep.
up now because I
Very
am
much so.
now loquacious, and I promise I did not take anything before this stream. Julie, take it away.
Okay. As everybody knows, also Friday nights we've got a fucking interview show booked for Friday. If you want to be on Book for Friday, all you have to do is in our fucking Beacons link, there is a sheet. Fill it out. It gets sent to us. I send you an email. Fill out the email entirely. Follow the God blessed directions. And then I reach out to you and we get a time scheduled and get you in. And then we have a lot of fun. That's what we do. It doesn't matter if you've only published an ebook. It doesn't matter if you've only done this, that, or a couple of other fucking things. If you have gotten words on paper and it's out there for the masses, we want to talk to you. If you helped with an audiobook, if you've done uh art, if you've done any of the fucking things that makes our fucking dreams a reality, we want to talk to you on Booked for Friday. So please fill out the fucking information, get it to me, I'll get back with you. That's how this works. Plus, we're running low on people to actually be in for the rest of the month. So please get up with me. Um, so we have that on Friday. It is at the exact same time we are always slotted for, which is 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Adjust your times fucking accordingly. Uh Otherwise, have a great fucking week. Don't be too fucking hard on yourself. Give yourself some fucking grace because I'm having a hard enough time out here for everybody, and I have to give myself grace. As at least as everybody in this group will tell you, I am the least amount will give myself grace. But it is what it is. So have an amazing fucking week. Don't get your ass in fucking trouble. And if you do, I already fucking warned your ass last night. Don't wrap it unless you want to be changing diapers in 9 months. Ride till the fucking wheels fall off, and we will see you on fucking Friday night. Otherwise, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. Love you guys. See you on Friday. Bye.